I'm going to work on my tile set layer now. So let's make sure I've got that selected. I've got BG2 and BG1 locked. I'm going to right click on here, insert new object, Tilemap. Just click anywhere on there. It comes with this default Tilemap there. I've got my own. Let's load the Tilemap set. So this was made in Pixel Edit, spelt with a Y, and I set the grid to 32 by 32, so that's the tile size. It's a very sort of simple tile set for now, but you can work on it and re-import it and create more kind of elements to it as you go along. So let's just close that down. Okay, if I go to my Tilemap tab here at the bottom, select it, you can see there's all my tiles and 32 by 32 grid size, which is the same as my level. You can see here in the properties dialog that that's what it's set to. Obviously, if you were working on a different grid size, then you can set it here. So if you're working 16 by 16 or 64 by 64, depending on what you are doing. So you can set it here. And this is just for kind of reference, really. I'm going to adjust this later on when I actually come to sort of design my level properly. But I'm just going to show you how it works. So we've got the draw tool and the select tool, rectangle tile tool and the delete tool. Make sure when you're laying tiles that if that tile there, tile 0, isn't blank, it's a tile and has a collision map. If I just double click on that, I can see the collision map. So be aware of that when you're working with tiles. If you want to get rid of tiles, delete them. Don't place an empty tile. You can't get rid of the collision map on a tile set. If you want a tile set without that, where the collisions aren't active, then you need to create like a second layer, like 2 tile sets, like an active one and an inactive one. So if I select the pen tool and click on a tile, so this one here, let's just scroll down here. I can make my first kind of island. The concept for this is kind of like there's these floating kind of islands. And I've got the pen tool, I just literally click and drag and I can draw out. These are going to be sort of platforms for my kind of turret, ground-based kind of enemies. So I can click on that one and add these bits, and I can override them. That's it, like so. The select tool allows me to move the layer, but I don't need to do that. So this is how you kind of lay them out. Let's do a bit like this. Oops. There you go, so let's join them all together. And I've got a nice little floating island. The Tilemap editor in Construct 2, I think it's still under development, so you can't sort of click and drag a selection and copy and paste it. You have to sort of individually, whoops, dragging that about, individually kind of move the kind of elements around and redraw them each time. So it is a little time consuming at the moment, but maybe they'll change that. Now with this Tilemap, I'm not actually going to be really using the collision mask, but it's if I wanted to, all these tiles here I'm going to have to adjust. So if I click on that, you can see there's this blank space here, so I'd have to adjust that like so, and the same for these ones. Obviously for this one I might need to add some more collision points. So click on the point, add point, like so. Construct advises you not to have more than 8 collision points, 8 points to your collision mask, for kind of memory optimization really. So the more sort of simple it can be, the better. So let's just delete that one, delete point, yeah. So you just access that by right clicking on the point and add and delete, and then you can move them around and select them. So I'd have to do that for every collision mask, for all the tiles, but in this case I'm not going to be dealing with that. Another thing you can do with the tile map is if you've got sort of larger elements, like for instance this entire kind of island, if I wanted to copy that, I can select the rectangle tool and click and drag like that, and then that allows me, let's try again, to select that whole thing there, go to the pen tool, and then I can place that on the map. Obviously the thing to be aware of there is it's got these blank, well they're not blank tiles, they all have collision masks, just to be aware of that when you're placing them with these larger kind of elements. So I'm going to get on now and populate my tile set. So I've created my tile map here, tile map layer. There's a few kind of islands, and let's move on and start working with the scrolling element of the game.